Peace, family, and welcome to Denali Vision. I'm your host, LeVar Anderson, and I'm bringing nothing but facts. I'm a father on a quest for justice, and it has been one hell of a fight. My son, Denali Anderson, was savagely murdered on August 6, 2022, at an underage drinking party in Pasco, Washington, by a group of teenagers that call themselves the Tri-City Blitz Gang. This is my raw and unfiltered truth of how one man, my son, was murdered by the city, tortured by the county, and buried by the state. So let's get into it. On the last video, holding the system accountable, we clearly see how in Pasco, Washington, Franklin County prosecutors turned deaf ear to Pasco police detectives' investigative work, the little work some detectives have done, by not charging the suspects who are in custody appropriately with first-degree murder. And this is why when prosecutors fail to uphold their duties, family, the Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson must act and prosecute this case on behalf of the state. What I'm not getting is what's so hard about detectives getting the work done. I mean, we're waiting. Prosecutors gift wrapping it for judges. I mean, look what I've put together. And they have the degrees. And judges bringing down the hammer. It seemed to be that easy. Unfortunately, after the Blitz gang killed the white girl, it only took police 4 days to arrest the suspects. 4 days. So if you're new to the channel, then please go back and watch A Community in Danger and like and share, and it will fill you in on to how this case is juxtaposed to another case and we're not receiving any justice. And if you've already seen the video, then please share again. Thank you. But we mentioned the very same names involved in my son Denali's murder. That night of the murder, with no pursuit of those suspects. On today's program, we're going to pick up right where we left off from the last video done on 8/26, how not one suspect is in custody for first-degree murder, and how none of the other suspects, no one, is charged with rendering criminal assistance, accessory before or after the fact. I mean, even minimal criminal mischief involving weapons. So we're going to continue reading Detectives 1 and Detectives 2 affidavits and other officer statements as to why they charged suspects with first-degree murder and who was all involved, so that within the parameters of the law, the evidence demand all the assailants be charged. So let's get into it. We're going to read from Detectives 1, affidavit. A review of the surveillance video from Cadillac shows that Brian was brought to the hospital in a 3-car caravan led by a red Dodge Charger, a dark sedan later identified as a black Lexus, and a third sedan dark in color. Video shows Osmond exiting the second vehicle in the caravan, a Lexus, and going up to help Brian out of the Charger. Brian was helped into the emergency room by Osmond and another male identified as blank. We're going to leave that blank. Now, I just want a side note. 3-car caravan led them to the hospital. The suspects called the police officers looking for their vehicle the next day. Officers couldn't even find the vehicle for 2 hours. The suspects didn't even remember where they parked at it. But you got a 3-car caravan, so that means all 3 of those cars were together at the scene, left from the scene, followed Brian and them. When they pulled over by the vet, which they saw them on video, a 3-car caravan, they all switched and hopped in the cars, and then they led to the emergency room. So, back to the case report. Surveillance video reviewed from the scene was reviewed, and it shows the Nissan arrived and parked behind the Jeep Liberty and turned its lights off. There's that white Jeep Liberty with Isabel, B, other black females she doesn't know, ski mask, before or after, guns, ammo. But after arriving and parking behind the Jeep Liberty, for more than 30 seconds, no one is seen exiting the vehicle as if it was waiting for someone. So they're waiting for a hit. The detectives' instincts are like, okay, they turned off the lights, they're sitting there waiting. Yeah, they're waiting for somebody. That's first degree. It's premeditated. It's instinctual. Okay. The next video shows a skinny male believed to be either Angel or Osmond go out of frame towards where Denali was after the initial shootings and fire 2 shots. Okay? The skinny male then goes to the driver's seat and pulls Brian out of the driver's seat so he can drive and leave in a nonchalant manner, unlike other vehicles leaving quickly from the shooting scene. Okay, so we have a skinny male that fires 2 shots after Denali was already on the ground, and then he goes to the driver's seat and pulls out Brian, who is much heavier than him, so they can leave the scene in the white Nissan. Further review of surveillance video shows 2 males running westbound on Pimlico, away from the scene where Denali was shot. The video shows the 2 males shooting run into a parked hatchback. So wait a minute. The skinny male goes out of the frame, fires 2 shots, execution, okay. Hops in the white Nissan. 2 other males are shooting while he's already on the ground, and then run to a parked hatchback. A hit, an execution, premeditated, first-degree murder, as the detectives have been stating. Okay, it makes sense. So through the investigation, the Prius was identified as being associated with known and identified female witness. Okay, they want to call them witnesses now. Suspects, accomplices, accessory, blank. So blank was contacted by police as she told police that she knew the 2 individuals who got into the Prius. She stated that they were Zane's boyfriend, known to her only as J3, and Derek Jackson, a 15-year-old male. Now, she only mentioned 2 people who got into the Prius. Again, J3, Derek Jackson. Another individual associated with the Prius was also, we're going to go ahead and leave that name blank because they want to say, she was contacted by police, and blank stated that she knew that 2 of the males who got into the car was J3, Zane's boyfriend, and Derek Jackson. This witness also stated that the Prius stopped near Maverick and picked up Angel I. Garcia. Okay. In the surveillance video that was captured, there's a male that matches the physical description of Derek. Okay, because she stated that there were only 2 people that ran to the car, J3 and Derek Jackson. So if they have a photo or something that compares that to the physical description, it makes sense. Okay. So in the video, the individual walks up holding a firearm and then directing traffic to let the white Nissan leave. Okay, so that individual walks up holding a firearm and directing traffic to let the white Nissan leave, right? Because then the skinny male goes to the driver's seat and pulls Brian out of the driver's seat because he was shot. So he can drive and leave in a nonchalant manner, unlike other vehicles leaving quickly. So he was able to leave in a nonchalant manner because in the surveillance video that was captured, there's a male that matches the physical description of Derek in the video that walks up holding a firearm and then directing traffic to let the white Nissan leave. Now, was I out there? I don't know. Video, they have it. Witnesses, they have them. If it wasn't Derek Jackson, then who was it? It's still somebody else that needs to be prosecuted, but I mean, the evidence speaks for itself. All right. That individual then runs towards the Prius. Okay. And is then seen firing towards where Denali lay before entering the Prius. Again, the video shows 2 males shooting, run into a Prius. They didn't say 1. They said 2 males shooting, run into a Prius. They said the individual runs towards the Prius and is then seen firing towards where Denali lay before entering the Prius. The individual holding the firearm is directing traffic to let the white Nissan leave. It matches the physical description of Derek. Again, this is what they have. Blank was contacted and gave a statement. She stated that she was parked about 6 to 10 feet behind the white Nissan and saw Denali on the ground. Okay, so let me go ahead and set that scene for y'all. The white Jeep Liberty, the white Nissan, this vehicle directly behind those 2. She stated that she was parked when the shots were being fired. All right. Good thing she remained anonymous because you're just parked while the shots are being fired. You're watching everything. So there's really three cars. There's three cars that showed up at the hospital. There's 12 cars. There's 30 kids. Now you see why we're discussing murdered by the city. Murdered by everyone. My son, murdered by the city. She was right there. She didn't panic to leave. But I digress. She stated that she could see bullets hit the ground in front of her vehicle. She stated that she saw a male with a red jacket / sweater on the yard of Pimlico Drive. That's one, a male with a red sweater, shooting at Denali. She stated that she saw two males on the sidewalk. 1 + 2, that's 3. And 3 males on the street side of the Nissan during the shooting. 3 + 3, that's 6 shooters, but only 4 in custody. Now, family, if we take a look at the suspects here who are already locked up, released, they all sort of resemble each other, sort of. And the reason why I say that is to say this. The witness, whose name has been blanked out, described the suspects to be associated with a brown, gray, or silver smaller car. She pointed out a silver Chevrolet Cruze on the scene as a vehicle that looked similar to the suspect vehicle. All right, so gray, small, silver car. It was probably dark. She's panicking. Silver car. Oh, it looked like that. The Chevy Cruze, silver Prius. I get it. Okay. Blank stated that one suspect as a Hispanic male with ear-length dreadlocks. She also described the driver of the suspect vehicle, the white Nissan, as a Hispanic male with short, buzzed hair. All right, so she states that one was possibly Hispanic with ear-length dreadlocks and the other with short, buzzed hair. So, as I can see Osmond maybe, if he had his hair done, short length dreads. But they didn't say Osmond ran to the Prius. The video shows either Angel or Osmond got into the drivers of the white Nissan, and only one of them has short buzzed hair, maybe. It looks like during his little time in incarceration, Angel may have grew his hair out, and which could have been, short and buzzed at that time. So was he driving the white Nissan as it caught a flat, then hopped in the silver Prius with Derek Jackson and J3? Because that's why the girl said only 2 of the males she knew got in the car, but then at the same time stopped and picked up Angel. Now you see why I need a private investigator. I mean, family, we got 5 suspects in one car who stopped and picked up a shooter. That made 6 in a little Prius. And at least 5 suspects in one Jeep who left before police arrived, who we know left before police arrived. But their ski masks, plural, they were left at the scene, and shell casings past the body near the rear of the Jeep. Now you see why we're discussing murdered by the city. 6 guns used in the murder of my son. Only 4 suspects arrested. Now, unless 2 shooters are out there double-fisted, shooting guns, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Guns don't shoot at people. People pull triggers to shoot at people. And that means 2 shooters are still on the streets who need to be held accountable and brought to justice. I posted a short of a letter from a Blitz gang member in jail who gave a motive and the names of all those involved in the murder. Once is a chance, twice is a coincidence, 3rd time is a pattern. Brad Greggory, your detectives need to get to work, bruh. Let's ring that line off the hook, family. 509-545-3421. Get to work. I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up. And I'd like to say peace to my son, my brother, my friend. I walk in your strength, legacy, and power today and every day. Stay tuned.